There was a lot of mud on it. Eliza took him with her. When she reached near the pond, she saw that the pond was very big. There was a wooden platform on its bank, on which fishes were caught sitting. Eliza cleaned the bird's head with pond water. After cleaning it, she realized that it was a duck's head. And what surprised him was that this head exactly resembled the statue of the headless duck kept in the hall of Eliza's house. While she was thinking all this, someone placed a hand on her shoulder. She screamed and stood up. Disaster. Great disaster. Imagine when you are alone in the middle of such a deserted forest and someone suddenly places a hand on your shoulder from behind. Give. Eliza looked back. A man wearing a hat was standing behind him. He was wearing dirty, torn clothes. Judging by his attire, he looked like a farmer. It was as if Elijah was breathing like a farmer. He looked at the man's face. The man seemed as if Eliza's screams did not matter. A motionless face. Dot and eyes staring into the void. As if he hasn't even blinked in years. The man asked in a very calm voice, "Have you seen my daughter? She was here some time ago." "No, I haven't." Eliza found the man very strange. Looking at Eliza's basket, he said, "If you want to catch more fish, then feed them earthworms. The fish here like earthworms. I also used to catch fish like this." Saying this, the man went away from there and disappeared somewhere far away among the trees. Eliza sat down to catch fish and collected a lot of fish in her basket. Picking up the basket, she started moving towards the house. On the way, at the place where she found the duck's head, she felt something strange. She looked around but saw nothing. Then suddenly she felt that someone was standing behind him. She looked back, but this was the peak of his fear. Behind her stood a headless torso. She screamed as loudly as she could and ran towards the house. She came out of the forest running, but her steps did not stop. Somehow she reached home panting. Going there, she drank water and calmed himself. Charles was not home at that time. He had gone to town to get ration. Eliza placed the basket on the table and sat on the sofa, holding her head. What was that, and what was all this happening? Eliza sat on the sofa for a while doing. After some time she remembered. Book. Yes, the book she brought from Father Verdi's house. That book was written on the events happening around this house in this forest. But she had kept that book somewhere long ago. She quickly ran towards the room. Even before Eliza could enter the room, her feet stopped. The cross in the room was upside down. She was absolutely sure that here there is definitely some supernatural power which should not have been here.
Eliza went into the room and started looking for the book. She found the book kept in a drawer of a table. She placed the book on the table and sat down to read. The title of that book was Taoileach Las Diabol, which in Scots Gaelic means the devilish Las family. Eliza opened it and started reading. The year is 1655. Winnsmouth, a peaceful and beautiful town situated in the hills of Scotland. Winnsmouth, a town of peace-loving, honest and hard-working people. The marriage of Brick Las, the new heir of the Las family, the town's richest and respected merchant family, was announced. He was married to Helena, the daughter of a wealthy merchant of the city of Edinburgh. The newlyweds began their married life in a large church in the center of the town. Everyone in the town respected Brick very much because, as rich and successful a businessman as he was also a generous and calm person. Helena was also an elegant woman. Overall, the Las family was a prosperous and happy family. But his happiness could not last long. The reason was Brickley's being childless. Many years passed, but Sir Lays could not provide an heir to his Lays family. He went to the big doctors of that time but could not find a solution to his problem. He was a person of very religious nature. He had immense faith in God. They went to church every day and prayed to God for a child, but God did not listen to them. Gradually his faith in God started wavering. He began to feel that God was unfaithful. 14 years had passed since their marriage, but they were not blessed with a child. One day Madame Helena told her husband about a satanic ritual to be performed to have a child. Maybe they got a child through this ritual she could have, but Sir Les flatly refused. Helena tried to convince him a lot and finally his faith in God was defeated by the love of his children. Sal J. Hollard. Amavasya Day was chosen for the ritual. They needed a black cat and some red roses for the ritual. Sir Les and Madame Les, dressed in black and carrying lanterns, set out towards the forest outside the town. Stormy winds were blowing that night. He kept a black cat and some roses with him. While walking on the way, Sir Brick Les asked, "Where are we going?" "To the person who will perform this satanic ritual." Walking, they reached the forest. After going some distance, they saw that there was an old scary house in the jungle. Madame Helena went ahead and knocked on the door of that house. A woman dressed in black came out from inside the house. "That woman, you covered your face and head." That woman was a slave of Satan, or in common parlance, a witch. She was the one who was going to conduct this satanic ritual. The woman asked both of them to wait outside and went inside the house herself. After some time she came out. He had a silver cup and a sharp knife in his hand. There were some pictures and mantras written on that silver cup. He handed both those things to Helena and asked both of them to follow him. After going some distance into the forest, the woman stopped in a clean and open place. There is a special kind of shape called satanic yantra, which is made in satanic rituals. The witch made a satanic yantra there. In the middle of that instrument he placed a totem of his god, Satan. Single quote. Totem is made by tying sticks or straws to a thread, which is invoked with satanic mantras. On top of this totem is placed a statue of the god of witches, Satan, or the head of some animal. Both of these are commonly used in satanic rituals or to curse someone. Pictures of some totems are shown below. Chanting the mantra loudly, he placed the silver cup in front of the totem. He caught the black cat with one hand and came to the middle of the machine and separated the cat from its body with a sharp knife. Seeing all this, Helena got scared. He screamed and covered his face with his hands. Rick Laz somehow managed to handle it. The witch collected the blood dripping from the cat's body in a silver cup. After that, the witch came to Helena with a silver cup and asked her to extend her hand. As soon as Helena moved her hand, the witch made an incision on his hand with a knife. Helena screamed in pain, but Tudor caught hold of her hand and collected the blood oozing from it in a cup. After this, Sir Laz's blood was also poured into that cup. The witch poured the blood of both of them in the cup and placed it in front of the totem. After this he plucked some petals from the rose flower and put them in the cup of blood. She was continuously chanting mantras loudly. She turned her face towards the sky and spread both her hands and started chanting the mantra louder. The stormy wind had also become stronger. Both Sir Les and Madame Les were not able to open their eyes properly. Then suddenly there was a bright light from somewhere. That light lasted only for a few seconds, but soon after that the stormy wind subsided. The Laz couple were shocked. The witch picked up the cup, went near Helena, took out a rose petal from the cup and gave it to Helena to eat. Even though she did not want to, Helena had to swallow the petal. After eating that petal, the witch said, "The ritual of our god, Satan, has been completed. Now you can go home." Both Brick and Helena Laz came home with a mixture of surprise and fear in their hearts. On the other side in the forest, the witch went near the dead cat and chanted some mantras. After some time, the cat came back alive without even a single scratch on its body. The witch picked him up in her lap and started laughing loudly while caressing him. A month later, Sir Bricklays found out that his wife Helena was pregnant. There was no limit to their happiness. But was it really a matter of happiness?